I'm your host, Larry Csonka, and this is episode 8 of the 411 on Wrestling Podcast. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, most other podcasting formats, and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe and share, as we would greatly appreciate it. We thank you guys for listening so far to the shows, and today I am joined by my good friend, longtime podcasting partner, Steven Jefferson Douglas Cook. How are you?
Oh, hey, friends. How's it going today, Brother Larry?
It's going pretty well, man.
Good. Big Sunday as we're doing this, because this is like the one day where there's a show later. ROH has a lot of shows these days. They have some show today? Is that what you told me?
Yeah, it's the Road to the G1 Supercard show, so it's kind of like a preview for next weekend's show.
Yeah, I know about the MSG show, but I didn't know they had another one. I guess more and more shows, I guess, is good for the people working there.
Well, that and they're trying to make the Honor Club thing worth it to people by airing all the pretty much making all the live events available on the site, and then
makes sense.
Yeah, so the only thing you're not really seeing is the TV taping, so which makes sense because you're not going to want to spoil your TV.
Anything interesting on this show tonight?
They're doing a Briscoes versus PCO and Brody King rematch for the tag titles. So that they had a great match last time, and see if hopefully they'll break down into chaos and trying to kill each other. See a Women of Honor match. Mark Haskins and Silas Young. PJ Black and Kenny King. Marty Scurll and Shane Taylor. Roosh versus Tracy Williams. And then The Kingdom versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Cobb versus Juice Robinson and Bandito. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like a fun show. Nothing really jumps out, is potentially great, but I think the Briscoes and PCO and King match is probably the one if I had to pick one match. But yeah, it's a solid little card to give a little preview before next weekend.
The one ROH note I saw that I'm also going to ask you about right now. I saw that Tennille Dashwood is now out of Ring of Honor. Like, she tweeted that she's out and she's a free agent. So she didn't do a lot in WWE on the main roster, and ROH was kind of the same story, right? She didn't do a whole heck of a lot there. I know there was the injury issue, but even before and after that, she never did a lot there.
Yeah, absolutely shocking that ROH managed to do nothing with someone else in the Women of Honor division.
Yeah, her and Madison Rayne had that same issue. It's the darndest thing. The Lizard Man just can't quite figure that whole situation out.
Well, the other thing too is like you look at just they lost Deonna Purrazzo and Karen Q to WWE too.
Yeah.
I mean, that division they haven't done anything. They've given nobody incentive to stay. And yeah, I mean, you can't blame people for not re-signing and bailing.
So is All Elite probably her next stop? That's my guess.
I mean, I think it's definitely a possibility. I think it would be smart for them and probably for her too. But I mean, yeah. I mean, they really didn't do anything. I can't believe that, they bring her in and then like you put her in the title tournament, you make a big deal out of actually signing her. And then the grand idea is, we're going to put the title on 50-year-old Sumi Sakai.
I never understood that for the life of me.
Well, I get that they were doing she was there at the beginning, it's a feel-good story type of thing.
Was it though?
Well, no, but I mean, I get what they were going for. And then, like, the title reign lasted too long. She at least had some good matches. And then, like, you drop it to Kelly Klein, who is just blander than fucking toast. Plain white toast, man.
Are you saying her and BJ Whitmer are a good match on that account? That's not very nice. That's not very nice, but
I think it's a fair assessment. But and then Kelly Klein manages to have like 4 matches with fucking Mayu Iwatani, which is like, that's pretty hard to do. And then they're gonna fucking have their third match of the year at the G1 Supercard, and I'm like, no. I feel like Consuelo from the Family Guy. No.
We're feeling like that a lot about things these days, aren't we?
Yeah. So, and speaking of feeling that way about certain things, Steve Cook, rumor came out this morning, according to Big Dave and the Observer Gang, that SmackDown may be going to 3 hours when it moves to Fox. Now, for everybody that's going to jump on me and go, there's no way it can go to 3 hours because of local news at 10, the plan would be 2 hours on Big Fox, hour 3 on FS1, and apparently the reason you're going to go, why would they do this? 50 million reasons. So, SmackDown coming to Friday, possibly to 3 hours. Steve Cook, your thoughts?
Oh gosh, it's the whole Friday move. I get why they're doing it because I mean that's a dead night for TV, and Fox is assuming that the wrestling fans will stay home anyway. That seems to be the main assumption. They stay home anyway. I mean, we're used to watching New Japan and WoW and Impact or whatever the heck they throw on there, so why not put SmackDown live on Friday nights? And I understand why they want to put something on FS1 because, they lost all that UFC programming, and FS1 is in that battle. They're in the battle for number 2 pretty much as far as sports networks go. I know NBCSN passed them last year, mostly based off the Olympics, and it was mostly the Olympics why NBCSN did. But they got hockey too, and so that's a big battle. In FS1 they have some baseball, they have college basketball, they got the NASCAR, but you can always use more. When you're a sports network, you want to have live programming. It's the money's in that. As much as we love to talk about the studio shows and all the debate, the Embrace debate shows, it's all about having live programming and having a live hour of WWE. It's technically not sports, but close enough. It's something to draw eyeballs to FS1 and hopefully stick around for something else on that channel. I get it from the business perspective.
Yeah.
But as a wrestling fan who has a hard enough time watching the amount of output that WWE puts out on a weekly basis anyway, an extra hour of SmackDown is just it's a big, gigantic no thanks for me. And if I had any confidence that, adding an hour would make the show better, well, how many years have we had a 3-hour Raw? And do you want to go back and watch any of those 3-hour Raws? I mean, I like watching the old Raws, like the old Raws, the hour Raws back in the day. You can go back, you can run through a bunch of those. If you're sitting there like even 10 years from now or so, are you going to be sitting there watching 3-hour Raw after 3-hour Raw after 3-hour Raw? No. And 3-hour SmackDown's going to be the same damn thing.
Yeah, and I'm someone that watches a lot of stuff, but I am not excited about it because, again, 3-hour Raw. Here's the thing. Most weeks, SmackDown is much better than Raw because it flies by and it feels like it's laid out better. And I generally like the talent and the booking better. But the thing is even if you still have that factor going for you, adding the third hour is just going to give you the same problems as Raw has. You're going to end up with a bunch of filler, a bunch of stuff that doesn't mean anything. And then the show just, like, there's times it's like Monday night. I swear to God, like, I used to do this all the time. And I see people on my timeline all the time going, Christ, it's only 9:30. And so it feels like the show's been going on forever,
Yeah.
And I get that. And I don't blame anybody. I don't think wrestling shows need to be 3 hours long every week. I think you just walk into too many booking traps. You start producing too much filler. It's no bueno. And the other thing is people may be wondering, when are they going to tape 205 Live? Rumor is that if they go to SmackDown 3 hours, 205 Live is done. They're just going to absorb the guys into the main roster and
see how it goes.
So, for everybody,
you know what? As somebody who hasn't watched 205 Live in God knows how long, I'll be honest. I like a lot of people gave up on it during the early Vince days when you had Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar feuding over Alicia Fox. Or was that Rich Swann? Which one? I don't know. It was all nonsense. It was all bad.
It was Cedric, yeah.
It was Cedric got stuck with Alicia Fox and all that. Oh, some bad stuff there, and I gave up on it at that point. People tell me, ever since good old Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce took over, oh, it's banging. It's a banger now, as kids say. People love it.
It's when Vince stopped running it and Triple H took over creative of it, and Scrap Daddy's a big producer there. Yeah, show became way better. It was a combination of good in ring and simple booking, and just not overthinking the product. It was basically what the Cruiserweight Classic was. It was what they wanted the show to be at first, until Vince came in and said, "Everybody needs a personality, pal." And they started doing shit with Alicia Fox and Noam Dar and Cedric, which was just fucking horrible. And then the Enzo run, and it's like, what cracks me up real quick is since we're talking about SmackDown, but last week, Asuka loses the title to Charlotte. I write a column about it, and someone's like, "Well, if she had if she had any presence or character at all, maybe they wouldn't have taken the title off her." And I'm like, or maybe if they would have actually booked this fucking SmackDown Women's division at all, wouldn't have had a big problem.
Yeah.
There's no problem with her ring work. There's no problem with her persona. There's no problem with her presence, especially when she gets fired up and starts yelling in Japanese at someone. It's just she looks like a bad motherfucker. But the thing is they ruined the whole division, because you sit there and you have her win at TLC, big match, and then she taps Becky out the next month. Title run off to a phenomenal start. And then you proceed to do absolutely nothing in actually building up that SmackDown division, because you've taken Charlotte and Becky and you've put them on Raw, essentially. So now people they're not left as much. Again, that's their fucking problem. You know what? You call up someone from NXT. Oh my god, hey, there's Nikki Cross on the main roster not doing anything. Who actually has a great history with Asuka. There's everyone on Raw who has a history with Asuka not doing anything. There's Ruby Riott, who could be used much better, but her pals have been fucking gone the whole time. But a move her over. Don't tell me they're stuck with this. You control the whole goddamn company. You can move talent around anywhere. So that's just the shit out.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Larry, I cannot hear you right now.
Okay, I'm here.
There you go. There you are. Oh, wow. You completely fade out there. Not quite like it. You just kind of faded out.
Okay, that's odd.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We should be fine.
Yeah, we'll be okay. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, and you're right. They put her over TLC, which is great. That was fine, and they did the thing with Ronda there. Then the thing is the Royal Rumble, which not only that also affected the build for the whole Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch thing, because you had Becky losing to Asuka Klein, have her tap out, and then she wins the Rumble, and that was that whole clusterfuck with the booking of that match. I'm sure we'll get to that later on. But that'd been fine for Asuka, except Asuka was gone how many weeks was she gone? 2 weeks, 3 weeks that she didn't appear at all?
It was something like that. Yeah, it felt like she was just her and the whole division were such a non-factor.
She wasn't even there. And then when she finally comes back, she loses to frickin' Mandy Rose. That was the first thing she did when she came back after being Becky Lynch at the Royal Rumble, going over, making Becky tap out. You thought that would have been a big deal or something. But no, we're just going to leave her off TV for a few weeks. And then she's going to come back, and she's going to lose to Mandy Rose. And you wonder why people don't care about Asuka. Come on.
Yeah. It's just completely frustrating. You could have had so much more out of the title reign, which is and I understand what WWE is doing, but I don't think it's needed. I think you would have been fine with Becky and Ronda, and I think that you could have done, if you wanted to do major things, you could have done a Charlotte Asuka rematch at Mania.
Yeah, I think
Off of
that's
last
what
year.
you're all rooting for, was Charlotte versus Asuka and Becky versus Ronda.
Yeah, because then you have potentially two very good to great women's matches that are going to represent you well and play off of your whole thing. But yeah, it's just I just feel like they, I love this phrase. The Europeans use it all the time when we're talking on Twitter instead of buried. Their favorite phrase is got thrown in the bin, and I got
Thrown
to
in
use
the
it.
bin.
I call them, and it was like, yeah, they threw the whole fucking division in the bin
They did.
because they were so consumed with building up the Raw women's thing. And I get it because it's the main event. It's not that I don't get it, but again, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Is you don't. It's just ridiculous. And,
I don't. The timing on it has just been horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, they finally decide this week. It's like Vince or somebody. Well, pal, Charlotte hadn't won a match since October. We better do something with her. Like, let's have her beat Asuka and make sure that she has reason to be in the match. And then there's the whole business where, and I don't know how you feel about this particular aspect of it. I figured if you're gonna have the Raw champion or SmackDown champion in a match, why isn't a unification match?
yeah, it should be.
Why isn't it?
Yeah, I love because, and some people are making fun of Dave for this report, but like, if you know Vince McMahon, it's totally fucking true. Apparently, the match is supposed to be the cold winner takes all, but the winner's not going to take all.
Right.
They're just going to win the title, whichever champion they fucking pin. And that's like such a Vince thing too, because he like totally doesn't understand terminology sometimes. I mean, he doesn't want you to say certain things like belt and gets all angry, but it's like, come on. But yeah, I don't know. Frustrating, but we're gonna stick to talking about some women. We're actually gonna talk about some Impact Wrestling because Steve doesn't always watch Impact, but he wanted to talk about a couple things from this week's episode of Impact, which was the Against All Odds show. And the first thing I know Steve wants to comment on is the debut of Scarlett Bordeaux.
Indeed.
And plus, Scarlett's butt was kind of out, so you can't help it.
Well, you know what? Scarlett Bordeaux is a fantastic wrestler, a fantastic individual. I think we can all agree on that. And they're building up her big debut against our good friend, the Disco Inferno, Glenn Gilberti, call him what you will. And Larry Csonka, I've often wondered, when I read, it's kind of related, but not really, because Disco, he's kind of building the match up, in his various podcasts and whatnot. Talking smack about ladies wrestling and that. It's part of the build. I get it. But then I have to wonder when I see wrestling news sites out there, and we do it too. We post news bites about what Disco Inferno says about this or that. And I've just always wondered why anybody would care what Disco Inferno has to say about anything.
Well,
I guess somebody does. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, generally, I don't think many do. But the thing with the women's wrestling stuff was like a hot button thing because of, WWE pushing the women to the main event and stuff. And then you got Disco saying, like, women don't draw, and Velvet Sky is the best women's wrestler, I think, and stuff like that. And
Velvet did have a hell of an entrance. I'll give her credit for that.
Yeah. But when you say things like that they just feel like trolling, and they make a great headline. So, I mean, that's honestly probably... But, yeah, I don't think it's so much people care about what he says, but, like, people look for outrage in headlines and stuff, and, Disco Inferno says Velvet Sky's the best women's wrestler is, like, a hell of a headline. It's like,
I feel the same way about Bully Ray stuff, too.
Yeah.
Bully Ray has a show, and every week we have to have multiple news lines about what Bully Ray said about this or said about that. And I don't care what Bully Ray has to say about anything either. So there's that. I said it. Okay. But this is good, though. And Disco did manage to use his online soapbox to kind of build a match by talking smack about the ladies wrestling. And him and Scarlett go out there, and they have a pretty solid match, I thought. A lot better than I was expecting, and the right person won, and yeah, good stuff. So, how do you feel about Scarlett's future in the Knockouts division? Does she stack up with the likes of Jordan Grace and Taya Valkyrie and Tessa and all that?
Honestly, like I've seen a fair bit of her matches. I think for the gimmick she plays, she's very good at it. I just think overall as a wrestler, she's not very good. I don't think it's an effort thing. I think she tries. I just I've never seen like a match of hers that I would say I want to go back and watch that or I want to recommend it to someone.
Well, not for the work rate anyway.
Yeah, but
Well,
I mean, God bless her. I'm sure she's I'm sure, yeah, she's a very nice person and everything, but I don't know. I think she has a role. You know, again, I think she plays the gimmick really well. I think she's pretty good on the mic. Obviously, very good looking. She has a place there. I just don't think it's going to be like, if she gets one of those title runs, it's going to be like one of those weird title runs like WWE used to do with like people like Maurice that felt out of place at the time.
yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine. I know a lot of people that totally dislike her and don't think she has a place at all. But I did. Yeah, there's place for her because there's, you know, you need variety. Okay, you have Jordan Grace who's like, you know, a little short powerhouse, and then you have like Tessa who's, you know, the entitled third generation star and a great athlete, and you know Scarlett is just the I'm a sexy chick and I'm bringing sexy back and I'm the smoke show and I want women to feel good about themselves and blah, blah, you know, whatever. I mean, she's totally different than everybody else. So
Yep.
I don't see a big problem with it. I don't see the need for any outrage. It kind of cracks me up. It's like if she went in there the first night and like beat Tessa clean in like 3 seconds and won the title, yeah, I mean we could complain.
Yeah, that'd be
I
different.
mean, they're doing something with her, and they're trying to, you know. I generally think she's very entertaining because, like I said, I think she's good on the mic, and she plays into the gimmick really, really well. And if you're going to do that kind of thing, you have to be really good at it, and I think she is.
She does a good job at it. And you mentioned variety, and I think one of the strong points of Impact often for me is the variety it presents. And the other thing I wanted to talk about off that show was something completely different from everything else on the show. They went back to the undead realm. You had Rosemary running around. You had Kiera Hogan running around, and of course you had the father James Mitchell, who Larry knows one of my all-time favorites. Just a fantastic talker. Back
Phenomenal.
from the TNA, the glory days of TNA, Mitchell. I mean, he's been one of their best. He's one of their best promos of all time. Guy's just top notch in his role. Like as an evil kind of devil kind of guy, he's just perfect at that. And what he's brought to this whole situation has been great as well. And he had the big showdown with Rosemary, and of course Dark Alley was there. And Rosemary was wrestling some different people. There was some big dudes. Sue Young was there.
The Luchasaurus was there.
Luchasaurus was there. That's who that was. I was a little confused about all that, but this all leads up to James Mitchell having the knife to Kiera Hogan. Kiera looked petrified of all this. Oh, she was looking at her watch. I think she's wondering where her food was or something. But and they're about to land a death blow to Rosemary, and good old Dark Alley has a change of heart at the last second, jumps in the way and takes the Freddy Krueger hand to the neck, and we had a death, Larry. Dark Alley died. She is dead now.
Yeah. And the other thing you did miss one thing. I'm surprised. It was the fact that during this whole thing, Father James Mitchell kept telling Rosemary that she had to talk to him.
Yes.
You know, basically the higher power down in hell or in the death realm, and it was revealed to be the fucking Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan.
Of course it was. Who else would be the higher power in an undead realm in pro wrestling other than Kevin Sullivan?
I know. I mean, you're not wrong. But it was just great because he comes out all robed up and takes off the hoodie of the robe, and he's just fucking being Kevin Sullivan. You know, I mean, you bring in Kevin Sullivan, you have to do Kevin Sullivan things with him. And it just, yeah, it was
a lot better than the ROH Kevin Sullivan run.
Yes.
I mean, he was playing. He didn't have a whole lot to play off of there. He had like Carino and Whitmer. That's a mess. But this is good stuff. And Dark Allie has now passed away, and I guess she moves on to All Elite whenever they start doing things.
Yeah. She took the death blow, got her soul back, and turned back into Bunny Allie. And there was a big emotional moment at the end with Rosemary and Kira, and then Allie disappeared off in AEW land. And yeah, I mean, you know what though? I mean, I get that some people are gonna really hate it probably, and I get it. But hey, they wrote her off.
Yeah.
I mean, literally killed her off, but they wrote her off.
She can still come back too. I mean, it's the undead realm. I'm sure people come back all the time around there.
Exactly. But I mean, they did a good job. They wrote the character off, and now everybody can continue on, and you don't really have to reference it, and just it's not like she, I give Allie credit. She made sure she finished up and everything, and technically put Sue Young over because she let Sue kill her.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Doing the time-honored tradition.
Going out on your back 6 feet under. There you go.
That's right. Allie on her back. Wait, what? Hold on.
But yeah, so that was the big angles from Impact with the ladies there, and I figured since Steve wanted to talk Impact, we would, because I know you don't get to watch it as much as other stuff, so I was like, all right, we'll throw it in.
When I see some good YouTube clips, I check it out. When I see Scarlett Bordeaux about to wrestle, yeah, well, I'm checking it out. James Mitchell promos, yep, sign me up.
Yeah,
don't ask me about whoever Johnny Impact's doing. I don't know about any of that.
Yeah, Jim Mitchell was awesome, but we're gonna move on to the kind of the meat and potatoes of today's show. Is Steve Cook WrestleMania coming up a week from today?
Yeah, I think it's about to start here in a couple hours.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna go over the card that we have. There's before we get into it, there's supposed to be 3 matches added onto what we have: a Raw tag title match, a SmackDown tag title match, and apparently a John Cena match. So, and we'll see what happens.
Is that what it's called? That's what we call it too, the John Cena match.
Yes, the John Cena match. But so we got WrestleMania coming up, Steve. It looks like a 17-match, 17-hour show, and we'll see what the hell happens. But starting off, we'll stay with the ladies one more. We'll go with the Women's Battle Royal.
Yeah, buddy. Women's Battle Royal. Is there a list for this somewhere? Do they have a list of the inducted people in this nonsense?
Kinda, but like it's mostly everybody you'd expect right now.
All the people that aren't in the tag team match and the title. So Asuka is in the Women's Battle Royal, basically.
Yeah.
Asuka. And probably Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox probably. Since we dropped her name earlier.
If she's sober.
If she's sober. Oh, that's right. She had her little business. Hope she's doing okay. Anyway, Asuka. I'm just gonna pick Asuka because why the hell not? That's how you give her rub back now. After she lost so much putting Charlotte over, you give her that rub by putting her with the Battle Royal trophy, since it worked wonders for Naomi over the past year.
Yeah, it's like last year's match I thought it was a good Battle Royal. I thought it was better than the men's, and it was good that Naomi won. But like you said, they didn't do jack shit with it.
Not a damn thing.
Same thing they do with the men's winners. So equality.
Equality. That's right, brother.
So, but yeah, I'm in agreement. If you give Asuka the win, you can give her that's a good reason for her to say I deserve a rematch and stuff like that. But yeah,
no, you know what she does. No, I'm gonna make this completely stupid, which is what they've been doing anyway. After Asuka wins this Women's Battle Royal on the pre-show, she should be all like, I am Asuka. I am ready for title match. And then you can put her in main event. 4-way. Yeah, why not?
I don't
Charlotte
think
can be there. Why not Asuka?
Well, because Asuka isn't blonde with big tits.
No, that's fair. Wouldn't it be funny, though? I feel like that's how we book things in wrestling now, just by saying, wouldn't that be funny?
Unfortunately, that's kind of how it feels most days. So we're gonna go on.
Speaking of funny, I got a good segue. How about let's just bang out the next Battle Royal, the men's Battle Royal. Why not?
That's right, the Andre the Giant.
Pre-show, probably, right? No, hold on. They're gonna have those SNL assholes on there. So maybe not.
Well, you know what? They might have it on the pre-show on the USA portion.
Oh yeah.
Because you can type those guys. But yeah, you have the Andre the Giant Memorial Geek Battle Royal, where the winner never matters.
No.
They're just a dude because they did nothing with Cesaro. They did nothing with Big Show. They did nothing with Mojo. They did nothing with Baron Corbin. They did nothing with Matt Hardy.
They've done a lot with Baron Corbin, unfortunately. Not immediately after winning that match, but later on they've done a lot with him.
Well, yeah, I mean he looks special in his TGI Fridays outfit. So
that he does. That he does. So you got Braun winning, or you got like one of the SNL guys winning, or?
I'm just praying that one of the SNL geeks doesn't win, but I don't know, man. It seems like the bloom is off the rose with Braun, man.
It really is.
They just don't really seem to give a shit and lost faith. And I mean, it's not like they're going to do anything with the winner. So I don't know. Maybe Andrade. I think that's what I'm going with.
I like Andrade. I wouldn't mind that.
It'd be nice to see him get a win and do something.
But if he wins the Battle Royal, he probably won't do anything.
Yeah, wow.
See, there's the catch. I say you give Braun the win. I think there's going to be a swerve with him and the SNL guys. They'll end up being on his side somehow. Why not?
Oh, geez, that sounds amazing.
They can all raise his arm on the USA Network. I saw somebody mention that since they had Saturday Night Live last night, and apparently they did. Chad Perry mentioned this on the Twitter. They didn't mention the WrestleMania on Saturday Night Live. Do they have a Saturday Night Live this Saturday before WrestleMania?
I believe so. I think Jeremy said they had one because
that's when they had mentioned it then.
Yeah, well, I hope they do a Braun appearance.
Well, they're gonna be in New York, New Jersey. They'll be in New York/New Jersey. So I think that would make sense to have Braun pop out on
just have him pop out during Weekend Update and destroy the set.
Yeah, destroy the set. That'd be good. That would make sense.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it result in any extra viewers, but maybe something.
Well, hey, I mean, yeah, at least you can say Braun was on SNL though. I mean,
that's something.
Yeah. So we will go next to, since we were just talking about him a second ago, Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle and Kurt Angle's retirement match.
People were being mean to Kurt Angle this week because he had some bad moments in his matches with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles that didn't quite go so well.
Well, he is breaking down before our eyes. So.
He is. I mean, and that's why it's a shame that they decided to book this Kurt Angle farewell tour a month before WrestleMania. Where all of a sudden they decide, okay, let's have Kurt Angle retire and do a little tour. If they had maybe thought of it like 6 months earlier or something, you could have spread out all these matches, and Kurt would probably do better on like a more spread out kind of schedule than Monday, Tuesday, bang, bang, bang. So, just, bad, not a terrible idea, just poorly thought out and poorly executed. That sounds friendly. And Baron Corbin being the final opponent. Now, Larry Csonka, I'm going to ask you straight up right now. The speculation, the scuttlebutt, the rumors, Big Dave, they all say John Cena is not going to be in this match. But do you think it's going to be Angle versus Corbin? That's going to be it?
I think so, because I think it's one of those things with Vince. Fuck you. That's the match I'm booking. I've already changed other shit. I'm not gonna give in on this one. I could definitely see that, but all I know is the shorter this match is, the better.
Yes.
For everybody involved, including us watching. It just, it needs to be short. You know what? I'm sorry. Everybody's like, oh, well, you don't want Angle to put over a younger talent. No, I would. If I did, I'd want him to put over someone worth it, not Baron Corbin.
Exactly.
Horrible. So, just do a real short match. Kurt, Baron Corbin tries to sneak attack him. Kurt Angle eventually avoids him. Baron Corbin runs into the post like he does every fucking match. Let Kurt hit a German. Angle slam, ankle lock, done. Get in, get the fuck out. Give Kurt his moment. Thanks, buddy. And we're done.
The simpler, the better. Yes. Make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's all you need right there. I could see them putting Corbin over there because Vince does have his certain people that he likes, and they do seem to like Baron Corbin for some reason.
Oh, I can totally see it. Yeah. I just don't think it's
Needed?
yeah, because he's horrible.
Let's hope that our discussion of this match lasts longer than the actual match.
Yeah. I don't want it to be long at all. So we will move on. Cruiserweight title match, champion Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese.
So are they both still evildoers, Murphy and Nese? Because I know they were on the same side of the fence. I know they were kind of aligned, maybe, kind of, sorta, not really.
Yeah, they were like they were buddies, and as soon as Tony Nese won the number one contenders thing, Buddy came out and they did a little celebration moment together, and Buddy was like, "Hey, point at the WrestleMania sign, it's your moment," and they fucking beat his face off. So.
They're not. And he still has the 10-pack of abs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, was it? It's like he actually has like an 8-pack the other week, and like Vic Joseph said something like, he's like, "That's quite a 6-pack on Nese," and Nigel's like, "Don't insult the man. It's an 8-pack."
That's right.
It's like don't denigrate his hard work. But yeah. So yeah, Nese and Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy, Steve.
That and I've already told you I don't watch a whole heck of a lot of 205 Live. They've been building up Murphy pretty strong. I don't think they've built Nese up that much. He did win the tournament, but I think Buddy's just gonna keep running with it. I think Buddy's gonna become the annual champion of all time. Seems to be what they're doing until they build up a nice young babyface to possibly go over the man.
Yeah, I actually fully agree. It's it's been nice to see Nese get a push, and instead of just kind of being a guy on the brand, I think there's more meat on the bone with the Buddy Murphy title run, especially because if you look in NXT, there's a bunch of guys that there's rumored to be bringing up, like you have ACH and Trevor Lee and DJZ.
Oh, yeah.
Shane Strickland's coming in, and then Kushida is going to be reporting. So I mean, you have a whole bunch of guys that you could. If you want to freshen up the 205 Live roster, you have all these guys, be fresh matchups, and Buddy's been great as champion. He delivers every time out. So hopefully they get enough time to have a really good match here. But and the thing is too is like Buddy's great. Nese is extra motivated these days because he's actually getting pushed. Plus Mania is basically in his hometown now.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean I think this definitely has possibility to be great.
Quick cruiserweight related question from a news bite I saw out there, a rumor, if you will, on the grapevine. Johnny Gargano, a man of much contention and speculation. There's been some thoughts I've seen that Johnny Gargano might be head 205 Live, which strikes me as it would be great from an in-ring perspective, and there's probably a lot of stuff he could do with the guys in that brand. But everybody is dreading it because they want Johnny to actually do things that people pay attention to. But then I wonder what else would Johnny do on the main roster that people pay attention to. So
yeah, it's like a fucking catch-22 because if he's on 205 Live, like nobody's really going to be watching him. But if he's on the main roster, is he going to end up like EC3 doing nothing and on main event?
Probably.
So yeah,
damn heel Tommaso Ciampa getting his neck broken. Killed Johnny's chances on the main roster, man. They were doing well as DOI until damn Ciampa had to get hurt. Such a bastard. Man.
Fucking his fault.
Yeah.
So next up, we will go to Falls Count Anywhere, The Miz and Shane McMahon.
I have liked the build to this match. I mean, Miz did a great promo, was it 2 weeks ago, where he's talking all this stuff and came off more likable than he ever has in his life. And Shane McMahon has done a good job with his stuff. I enjoy their angle back in Cleveland where Shane attacked him from behind and pie-faced the Miz's father, Mr. Mizanin. Oh, Miz's dad, a legend, by the way. I think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah, I agree with what you've been saying too. It's I think it's been booked well. and I thought Miz's promo was really great, but I'm just not a fan in 2019 of Shane getting a WrestleMania spot.
Yeah, the match is kind of where it falls apart for me, and this falls count anywhere. So I'm sure that Shane will get to do something stupid. That's always a highlight. Miz will be busting his ass, I'm sure, because it's a great opportunity for him to shine against old Shane O'Mac and kind of reestablish himself. He wants to be back on the main event level. I mean, he hadn't been. He had his WWE champion back several years ago, and ever since that match with Cena didn't go so well, Miz has been back to that next rung below. Been on the upper mid card. He's still a guy that he's always been a guy that gets good reactions, whether good or bad. But he wants to be that main eventer again, and a good showing here of Shane would help him get up to that next level. And depending on how things shake out and other business on SmackDown, I still think we got to see a Bryan Miz feud again at some point, right?
Definitely.
Bryan is the heel and Miz is the face. I think we got to be seeing this here at some point. And so what I'm saying is that both these guys can be motivated. I think it's going to be better than we expect. I'm not saying it's going to be an 8-star WrestleMania classic or anything like that. I do think we'll see Shane do something stupid, and I think Miz will get a nice moment at the end when the Miz goes over.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And the good news is with the stipulation is, the smoke and mirrors will definitely help.
Oh yeah, dog and pony show.
Yep.
Maurice had her baby, right? So she can come out.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. But I think it'll be better than I'm thinking, like, initially. But I just, like I said, I don't think in 2019 you need Shane on the Mania card.
You don't, but how else are you going to get the 17 matches?
We don't need 17 matches, I'll tell you that.
I'm with you on that.
So next we will go to the women's tag title match, which half of this match we definitely don't need. And that's Nia Jax, Tamina, and the Iconics. And then Beth Phoenix and Natalya involved, as well as Sasha Banks and Bayley as our champions.
Yeah, we could have done this with just the Boston Hug and Divas of Doom, quite honestly. And don't get me wrong, I am a fan of of some of what Billie Kay and Peyton Royce brings to the table. They're not really necessary in this match, and Nia and Tamina are what they are. Let's be honest. But it's nice to see, Beth. I feel like Beth she gets more respect now than she did when she was an active wrestler.
Yeah.
I think the company treats her better. The company treats her like a bigger deal now than they did when she was actually active with them. Interesting dynamic there.
It is.
Something to do with it might have something to do with Edge. I don't know. Maybe.
It might.
May not. But I like Bayley and Sasha, and I like Beth and Natty, and I like Billie and Peyton too. I just feel like this match is gonna be one of those kind of matches that might be bowling shoe ugly, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Like a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff being blown. Bayley and Sasha have had their moments as far as that sort of thing goes. As much as we like them, they've just been some moments where they're not on the same page, or them and their opponents aren't on the same page. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a mess. And hopefully at the end of the day, I hope Bayley and Sasha win and continue their reign, because I don't really see a better alternative in the match.
Yeah, I think it's has the chance to be a disaster thanks to Nia, Tamina, and the Iconics. I'm hoping for the best, and champion should probably retain. All right, if there's a little hiccup there in the recording, it's because we had to stop. I had to deal with something with the kid. This is the 411 on Wrestling, episode 8, and we are talking WrestleMania with Steve Cook. And Steve Cook, we're to keep with some championship matches. We're to move on to the United States Championship match, Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio.
Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio is, we're talking about Rey Mysterio, of course, a legend of the business at this point. He's been around forever. He's been around for a while. Am I right? I'm not being too mean to the man by pointing out he's been around for a very long time.
No, it debuted in the early 90s.
The early 90s. His knees are a lot younger, though. He's had them replaced a few times. He's still hanging in there, doing some good stuff. Still a fantastic wrestler. And Joe has finally kind of gotten on track lately. He's been cutting great promos for the past several months now. He's got himself the United States Championship. He might have lost to Kurt Angle, but we know it doesn't matter when champions lose matches, right? That doesn't matter at all. It's good.
Pretty much, yes.
No big deal there. So I think we'll have a nice. This will be a fun little match here. Is there any chance they're going to add Andrade and R-Truth to the last minute like they did last month with the? We're just gonna randomly add people. That's no.
I mean, you joke, but it's like I could see Vince walking out and be like, "Listen, pal," It's like,
yeah.
Oh God, but yeah, I hope not because I think this has a ton of potential because Joe is an absolute great bully heel.
Yep.
He's just a great monster. And then you have Ray, who is one of, if not the best underdog babyface performers ever. And, you mix those together and then you look at the interactions they've had recently this year in the multi-man matches. They work really well together.
Yep.
It's Mania. Joe has to be amped to be on the Mania main card in a title match.
Absolutely.
And this is...
He was out last year, right? When he injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this his first one?
I think it's his first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So good times.
And then you got Ray, who it just looks rejuvenated. He's happy to be back on the big stage. This is a good match for him. The only thing to really think about now is the Dominic dynamic. They brought in Eddie's son to hang out with Ray, and but I think the story is going to be one of two things. Either way, I see the feud continuing past Mania. I either see that Dominic helps Ray win the title, which is kind of your obvious thing because they want to show the bully a lesson, or Joe just fucking eviscerates the child at some point during the match, which distracts Ray, makes him lose focus, and Joe wins, and then, they carry on. Either way, though, I think young Dominic will get eviscerated either during or after the match because if Ray wins, Joe's going to kill him.
Yeah. You didn't also, but there's also the potential. I mean, we're talking about the son of Eddie Guerrero here, right? A classic heel if there ever was one. Well, why wouldn't Dominic turn his back on his alleged father, Rey Mysterio? Ooh. Yeah.
We're making movies, Steve. There's all kind of things to tell here.
And Joe could cut a promo about it afterwards about how Joe could say how Joe is Ray's real daddy. There you go.
That's
a little
right.
tagline there for you. I like it.
But I see a lot. I think this could be tremendously fun. Kind of excited for it just because I'm excited because it's Joe's first major Mania match. And, he's a guy like AJ we've talked about for years, Steve. It's a great moment for him,
Yep.
And I'm very happy for him to get it. So, and we'll stick another title match, Intercontinental title match. The champion Roberto Lashley versus Finn Balor. Your thoughts, Steve?
Well, it's a little interesting. If you take a look at the WrestleMania promotional poster came out, you saw a bunch of different people on that poster. And one of those people was Finn Balor, albeit Finn Balor in his Demon King persona.
Yep.
So there's a very good chance that if we're promoting the Demon King on the poster, we see the Demon King, which they still call him the Demon King, right? That's what they do on this show. So we could even hear tomorrow night on Raw, where it's announced that the Demon King, Finn Balor, will be at WrestleMania to take on Bobby Lashley, in which case Lashley doesn't have a chance. And let's be honest, Bobby Lashley can't beat the regular Finn Balor with a tag team partner. So why am I supposed to buy Bobby Lashley being the Demon King in a singles match? It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
We got a new champ. Yep.
Yeah, I hope because it's not all Lashley because his booking hasn't been great since they've signed him, but I'm hoping he can find some of that TNA Impact Wrestling Lashley he was working in that last run because he had some really great matches with guys like Eddie Edwards and stuff. And
he has not shown that at all during this run, though.
Yeah, and obviously Finn is great. So it's Mania. I'm hoping that will the real Bobby Lashley stand up? I want to see it because when he's on, the dude is really good. And
he might need his own Demon King.
Yeah, but I think we see we get the Mania Demon entrance and Bobby's fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, new champion there. We're gonna move on to the no holds barred match with Triple H's in-ring career on the line. The H's versus big, well, he's kind of medium Dave Batista now.
Medium Dave.
I mean, he's a lot larger than like the normal man for the most part, but yeah.
He's not like Big Dave back in the day, is what you're saying.
And he's certainly not the Leviathan.
He's certainly not the Leviathan. Good God, that guy couldn't even get in the door, Davis Arena. Ugh.
I know. And people that think you're kidding, no, seriously. Look up Dave Batista as Leviathan in Ohio Valley Wrestling. Him and Lashley in Ohio. Jesus Christ.
Them and John Cena and UPW back in the day. There's another one that was just gigantic, enormous.
But like, seriously, Cook's not joking. He was like as wide or wider than a basic door frame. Just a gigantic individual.
And Triple H has gigantic moments as well.
Yeah, I always laugh. I listen to the Brian and Vinny show when they review the old like Raw and Nitro from 19 years ago, and it's like it's kind of a running joke that I think would annoy a lot of people. But I always laugh because like every week Alvarez is like, I swear Triple H is 20 pounds bigger than last week, because it was in that 99 to 2000 era where he was growing by the week.
Oh yeah,
had the WrestleMania body before the WrestleMania body was really big, you know.
I think it's still used out in the poster, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like Triple H's head on the body at its peak there.
Well, he was a little more puffy back then, was the thing.
Yeah,
he's leaned up now, but yeah, it's oh my god, yeah, that was a big dude too. But yeah, Batista and Lashley in Ohio Valley were just absolute freaks of nature.
Dude, this is another one of those matches that's gonna be better the shorter it goes. We don't need Triple H to go out there and try to work his 25-minute WrestleMania epic match here with Batista. That's not going to work.
Thank God you said it before I did.
That's not going to work.
Everybody hates when I say that.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's true. We don't need him going out there trying to work that WrestleMania epic. Triple H, I'm not sure he has it in him, and I don't think Batista has it in him at this point, which is not a slight against either man. They just are what they are in 2019. We don't need them to go out there forever. This needs to be kind of brief. We're talking no holds barred, so people throwing heavy lumber, maybe mixed in some foreign objects, things like that. It could be a lot of fun if it stays around 10-15 minutes. And as far as who wins, well, I mean, Triple H might have to retire, but does anyone actually believe that stipulation is going to matter? Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Shawn just coming back.
He owns the damn company. He can come back whenever he wants. There's no chance he's actually going to retire. So if Batista is doing anything else with the company, which they say he's not, but you never know, there's a chance. I do think that the smart money is probably on Triple H here.
Yeah. I totally agree with what you said earlier, because that's I wrote that in my the previous stuff I've been working on, is that we don't need Triple H trying to work his epic main event match. We just need something that plays to the stipulation well, and just you can't to a lesser extent play the hits. You hit all your signature shit. You mix in the weapons, like you said, throw heavy lumber and brawling. And I said this back when he did that match with Taker in Australia that was absolutely horrible. Just there's a point in your career where you have to change. Okay? And I talk about the New Japan dads a lot. Tenzan and Kojima and Nagata and guys like that. And even Liger. You know, it's like Liger's like 53 years old. But Liger still has enough get up and go that he can go out there and have a 4-star banger with Ishimori, which he had this year. That match, oh dude, that match was so great. The only thing that would have put it over the top, because the crowd was totally into Liger winning, and I knew it would never happen.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there thinking in the back of my head, if this motherfucker pulls out a 53-year-old shooting star press, I'm gonna lose my shit. Yeah. But I mean, it's just a great match. But like, Liger's obviously changed his style, but he still hits the cannonball. He still hits the brainbuster. Still hits the Liger bomb.
Yeah,
you know,
the big stuff.
Yeah, he plays the hits, okay? And Nagata, same thing. Like, he just had a great match with Ishii in the New Japan Cup. Nagata's not working the same match he worked 10 years ago because he can't. It's strikes and kicks and the armbar and the exploder, and it's the hits, but he's smart enough to know when to do it and to work around. And I'd like to think, Triple H, pretty smart guy. I love what he does with developmental. I would like, I know he wants to be Ric Flair. And I know he watched Flair deliver awesome matches in this movie. But you know what? For as much substance abuse as everything as Ric Flair had, Triple H's body is just beat to hell from injuries and enhancements and just things breaking down. Because I'm sorry, you don't tear 2 quads and a bicep being completely natural.
Well, but Vince McMahon tore 2 quads at that Royal Rumble that one year, and he was obviously all natural.
Oh God, that's such a fucking moment.
That is a WrestleMania moment at the Royal Rumble. I'm telling you right now.
That's so great. 'Cause he runs down there, his little Vince power run. He goes to slide in, and all of a sudden it's like, God damn it!
God damn it, pal!
And then he has to sit there and bark orders, and Batista and Cena are like, I think we're supposed to act afraid, man.
Yeah.
And Batista's like, he's fucking sitting on his ass.
How did they manage to keep? It's a credit to Batista and Cena. They managed to keep character in that moment.
Yeah.
Because I would just burst out laughing, honestly.
Yeah, really. But yeah, but I mean, I'm hoping that, like you said, keep it simple, play the hits, and just get in, get out. Doesn't have to be long. Here's the thing too: is like the main thing is like people like the Triple H entrances. Give him the big entrance. Give Batista his entrance, and then just go out there and be like the 2 old dudes kicking the shit out of each other.
Oh gosh, I was rewatching some stuff. I was ranking Kurt Angle WrestleMania matches, and I watched again the one from last year with him and Ronda against Triple H and Stephanie, and that biker entrance with the female biker gang. Wow, that was something else. I don't know what it was, but it was something else.
It was something. We know that.
They had, but Larry, they had green frickin' lasers. And you know damn well that only the top stars get green frickin' lasers.
Yeah, like all those years on Impact. I mean.
Yeah, right.
But
Samoa
yeah,
Joe back in the day with green lasers and ROH. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah,
Triple H probably wins. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say he wins, and I mean, I hope they have a good match. I know Batista's looking at this as, he's always wanted to do his retirement match with Triple H. And, he gets to, despite the storyline being that Triple H held him down, obviously Triple H had a big part of putting him over and getting him to be a star. And, he need to be returned the favor, and he can go back to being Drax and making Marvel money and being happy.
Should be fun. As long as they keep it short and not epic length, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping for. I really hope that Triple H kind of looks back on that Undertaker match and goes, fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
It's like, because the other thing is too, obviously to consider is Batista hasn't been in the ring in a while. So it's like you always hear wrestlers, you can work out in the gym all you want. You can do all the cardio you want, but it's different when you get out there.
No doubt about it. That ring
and again,
I
have no doubt that he's trained his ass off, because he seems like the kind of guy to me that would not want to embarrass himself by being out of shape or not being able to go,
He always looks in good shape, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. But, I just, he doesn't want to blow up out there in the middle of a big WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And another match I think has a lot of potential. We got AJ Styles versus Randall Orton.
Yeah, it's WWE versus the Indies.
That's right.
Versus the Indies / TNA / New Japan / Ring of Honor. That's been the story of the feud. Randy Orton came up through the WWE system. He never spent a day outside the WWE system. He started out in Ohio Valley Wrestling, then went up to WWE, and he's been on the main roster for as long as most people watching the shows have been alive, pretty much, at this point.
That's what it feels like.
He's just always been there, pretty much. Always been WWE. And AJ Styles, of course, had the opposite experience, where he started out in the low levels of pro wrestling. He made
NWA Wild Side.
NWA Wild Side is where he made his bones. He had that cup of coffee in WCW for like a brief second with Air Paris, and then he was with TNA forever and ever. He was pretty much to TNA what Randy Orton was to WWE. He was just always there until a couple of years ago when TNA were idiots and they didn't want to give AJ his proper respect, and AJ was like, "Peace out. I'm gonna go New Japan. I'm gonna go kick some ass there and show why I'm the greatest wrestler in the world." And people like us always kind of had that idea, but other people just were kind of scared off by the whole TNA stench. But then once he got outside TNA, everybody's like, "Yeah, AJ's the best. AJ's the best." You remember that was a big conversation back in the day. Yeah. Where AJ had the stench of TNA on him, and people didn't want to give him the proper respect. We had all kinds of conversations with people about that, but he has it now. He finally came to WWE, and he's had a damn good run in WWE too. Earned the respect of pretty much everybody across the road. Now he's in this match with Randy Orton, kind of a dream match in a way, I would say.
Yeah, I think it is in the aspect that it's one of those matches a few years ago you thought we'd never see. Because there was, Randy Orton wasn't leaving WWE to go to TNA.
No.
I mean, it's just he wasn't leaving WWE, period. And that's not a slight at the other company. It's just Randy he's one of those guys that he feels like he's going to be like a lifer in some respect. I think that, when he finishes, he may do things like the Big Show and Mark Henry, like ambassador stuff, because he's still going to be Randy Orton.
I can't see Randy Orton as an ambassador, to be honest with you.
He'll do stuff. Trust me.
Yeah, I know.
He likes that money.
Yeah, sure. But as far as the match goes, when we're talking, you know how it is. Whenever it's WWE versus Indies, whenever it's WWE versus somebody else, like a few years back when Triple H faced Sting, is WWE versus WCW. WWE guy's gonna win. Randy's going over.
Yeah, I just I hope Randy has that big motivation, because like sometimes when he goes into big matches, it's just like he's never bad, but sometimes I think he has like flat.
There's a gear missing sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and it's I want to see. I mean, I hope that he kind of has that chip on his shoulder, like everybody thinks AJ's fucking great, but fuck you guys.
I think there's a little bit of that. I think there's a little bit of that there.
Yeah. But I just I really think that I think it has high tier potential. I think it could be great, because I mean Randy's had great matches. Obviously, AJ has a fucking gigantic portfolio of them. So I mean, and you're on the WrestleMania stage, So hopefully this ends up being as good as I hope it can be, because I think it would be just a really strong addition. Because there's going to be some matches on here that are going to be definite clunker potential. The Battle Royals, the women's tag match.
It has the potential to steal the show, I think. Yeah. It's got that potential.
So yeah, I like I said though, I'm kind of looking forward to it. So we got next up a singles match, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. The whole story has been Drew McIntyre essentially claiming and trying to destroy the Shield. He's essentially killed Dean Ambrose for real, and he beat Seth Rollins. And now he's after the big dog, Steve.
Drew McIntyre is very well protected for a long time since he came back. Remember last year when he was tag teaming with Dolph Ziggler, and they made sure that Drew wasn't one getting pinned. He wasn't one taking losses. Then all of a sudden he starts dropping matches back, left and right. Like him and Dolph Ziggler go 50-50, and him and Finn Balor go 50-50. And it just kind of felt like the bloom came off the Drew Rose a little bit to me. And I think it did to a lot of people. I'm not quite sure he's reached that same level yet where it seems like he's supposed to be a next big heel threat. I mean, maybe it's there. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing Drew McIntyre as anything else right now other than the guy who's going to lose to Roman Reigns and Reigns' big return / singles. Has he had a singles match since coming back?
No,
it's tough to keep track with all these Raws. When you got like 10 hours television a week, it's tough to keep track. But yeah, he's just been tag teams, right?
Yeah, he did the big Shield tag team at the pay-per-view, and that's pretty much it. And he's done promo segments, so yeah. That's the thing is, it's like for as much as Drew could use a huge WrestleMania win over Roman Reigns, I just can't see it happening, because this is kind of like the culmination of the Roman Reigns return story. He beat leukemia. He came back. He reunited the Shield.
He got one more match with his best friends, and now he's going to Mania, which everybody assumed he was going to miss. And, the big win at WrestleMania, it's like we always say, WWE is, they like creating moments. They make movies. That's what Vince always says. And, Roman Reigns coming back and winning the Mania is a moment.
It is.
Yeah. So, if they go with the Drew win, I'd be absolutely shocked.
Yeah, and there are some matches where I could see them going against the grain and picking an unlikely winner. This is not one of them. And Roman Reigns, I think he has to win his big singles comeback match, and then that sets him up to be the challenger for the Universal Championship or for whatever championship.
Exactly. So definitely agree there. And speaking of championships, we're going to scoot over to the WWE Championship match. Champion Captain Planet Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He's our hero. Defending against Kofi. That's right. Defending against Kofi Kingston. And
they finally made it. They finally made the match.
Finally made the match after weeks of dragging it out.
We're getting a contract signing next week, though, Larry. So, you got a contract signing, pal.
I know, but I felt like they were really stretching things out. I was really worried they were gonna lose that support for Kofi. And I tell you what, man, I'm over the gauntlet match.
There you go.
I'm done. Don't need to see anymore for a while.
Well, we can put on the list with the handicap match, the things we don't need to see anymore.
Yeah, it's just it felt like they weren't bad. I thought they were good. It's just like it just felt like the same fucking shit all the time. It's like help me out a little bit, It's like I get you're trying to tell the big underdog story and everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm over the gauntlet match. So Daniel Bryan defending against Kofi. Steve, what are you thinking?
Well, we've talked about this before, and it seems like everything's building to Kofi winning, and I think Kofi should win. But there's always a but. So there's some doubts starting to seep into my mind of this whole situation. I mean, Daniel Bryan did have that lovely championship belt made. Can I call it a belt? Probably not, but that championship with the oak tree stuff and the hemp, and it's a pretty belt. I hate to see it go to the waste so soon, wouldn't you?
I would.
It's a fantastic piece of business, and I don't think Kofi. I could see Kofi possibly having a championship belt made out of pancakes. Not sure how that would work, but they're
like spinning pancakes on the side plates.
Spinning pancakes on the side plate, possibly. Possibly made out of unicorn skin, something like that.
There you go.
I could see that working, but I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a little hitch in the giddy up here. I feel like something's gonna go awry, especially since it's not gonna be a main event match. So I feel like Daniel Bryan's gonna overcome the odds, and something we would have not thought was possible just a few months ago. Daniel Bryan getting booed as he wins his WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think like the one good thing coming out of this is because there have been teases and rumors that they could break up the New Day. And I think the good news is that if Kofi wins or loses, you have natural stories coming out of that to do that. Because he can win the title, and then the other two could be jealous. And that's just basic storytelling. But the other thing is if Kofi loses, Woods and Big E can be like, we fucking got you here. Like, we supported you. We kept, when it was Money in the Bank time and the Rumble time, we kept saying you were to be champion. And then we literally got you into this match.
And he
got you your opportunity and you fucked up. So, I could see that. I could see Bryan winning, definitely for sure, and retaining. But, and part of my pick is because of what I'm going to pick in the next match is I think Kofi might do it. I think they might go for the big moment. I think Bryan holding it longer and like defending against Miz at a pay-per-view and stuff makes sense. And I could see that too. But I think Kofi might win. I think they might pull off the big moment, and then we'll see what happens. But put a gun to my head, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. And
that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. I love that. Next match is the Universal title match. Champion Brock Lesnar defending against Seth Rollins. And the reason I think Kofi might win, Steve.
Oh, yeah?
Is because I think Brock might win here.
Because you think Brock might win because we've had the story happen at WrestleMania where everybody thinks, oh, Brock Lesnar's just going to lose because he's going to leave and blah, blah, blah. And yet Brock Lesnar still wins. And I can see it happening here too. What's Brock's contract status? Is this another situation where we're not sure if he's going to stick around or not?
Yeah, and again, he's teasing the UFC stuff, and that's what he does all the time to amp his contract up.
It works. I can't blame him now. It works.
Hey, one of the smartest men in wrestling, Steve.
He's really is.
He's right up there with like Jericho and Double J and
Double J. Oh, doesn't get much more than Jeff Jarrett, that's for sure. But
hey, Jeremy and I talked about that.
Yeah.
You got to respect the fact that he went from losing TNA to failing with Global Force to almost being hired by Anthem to run everything.
Yeah.
To being a raging alcoholic and turning up at indie shows drunk, to going to rehab that WWE paid for, to getting into the WWE Hall of Fame, and now he's like one of the head dudes on fucking WWE Creative.
He's got to be the most charming man on the planet, doesn't he?
Ain't he great?
Ain't he great?
But yeah, I think Brock is somehow going to renegotiate again because they got the Fox move coming up.
Yep.
And I think Vince loves the idea of having Brock around, especially if Ronda's leaving. I think he loves having Brock around, and I think Brock will again negotiate for more money and less dates because Vince loves him and because Vince has fuck you money now.
There you have it. Vince, come on, Vince already had fuck you money, didn't he?
Well, he has fuck you and your whole family money now.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, fair point though, Steve. I get you.
Yeah. And if we're gonna build up Roman Reigns as a conquering hero next in line for the championship, it would make more sense to have Brock as a champion. Yeah. I mean, that kind of leaves Seth Rollins up a creek without a paddle, but he'll figure something. He's Seth Rollins. He'll figure something out.
He is the architect, apparently.
He is the architect. He keeps getting pushes. He'll have his time. Again.
Yeah. So, and to close. Now we don't. It's again. We're recording on a Sunday, so we don't know the official stipulation for the match.
Oh, you with the official stipulation here?
Yeah, because it's Raw champion Ronda Rousey defending against Becky Lynch, and now SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte.
Yeah.
The rumor is that it's going to be winner take all, but apparently that's not the case. It sounds like it's going to be winner. If Becky pins one of the champions, whoever pins one of the champions gets their belt, is what it sounds like it's going to end up being. So if Charlotte pins Ronda, she gets both titles. If Becky pins one of the champions, she gets their titles. So
yeah.
This is the big moment, Steve. The women get the main event spot, and it's something that's been talked about for a long time, and you have the opportunity now because you have Ronda Rousey on your roster. You have Becky Lynch that has gotten insanely over. And then you have a legacy in Charlotte Flair, she's one of the chosen ones, Ric Flair's daughter. And it seems to all work. And plus the thing is, and I don't mean this as disrespectful, because it would go the same for anybody that main events, you don't need a Rock and Austin to sell pay-per-view buys anymore because you have the network, number one, but number two, WrestleMania is the draw. The brand is the draw now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, if you have a great match, it helps. But, I mean, we have to face facts, and it's the brand that draws them.
No.
So you gotta, this is, again, I think you could have done just Becky and Ronda. But I get why they're doing this, because they want to try to give both the rub, because Ronda's reportedly leaving after Mania, thinking about having a baby. She may come back. She may not. They don't know yet. But Steve, is this the culmination of the Becky story, or is she gonna get boned here?
It feels like it has to be a culmination, because I don't think they can. They're already kind of stretching it a little bit with the wonderful storyline, the saga that's led to this match. Just all sorts of wonderful twists and turns. I know you're as big fan of storytelling as I am, probably. It's been something. But we got in here, and none of that's going to matter as long as they have a great match and as long as the right person wins. And to me, the right person, it has to be Becky Lynch. She's the choice of the people. She's the person that people want to be in this match. They want her and Ronda, and Charlotte's there, and I guess that's fine. It is what it is. And I think Charlotte will make the match better. I think it'll be a better match this way than it would have been with just Ronda and Becky. I think Flair improves it in that aspect. But at the same time, Becky, I think, has to win just to kind of justify the whole story. The question is who she pins. Does she pin Ronda, or does she make Ronda tap? Or do they have her pin Flair and take the SmackDown Women's Championship? And does Ronda become like an absentee champion like Brock Lesnar?
Honestly, I think for the story, as overcomplicated as it got, I think you don't fuck around. You just Becky wins and she pins Ronda or she taps her.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have her tap her though. But
no, I don't think Ronda's gonna tap out.
No, but I mean, I think Becky has to beat Ronda for it to really pay off the whole story. And
I'm with you, but at the same time.
Yeah, I know it's the WWE booking, and yeah.
And I'm also of the school of thought that if you're going to have the Raw Women's Champion and if you have a SmackDown Women's Champion in the match, I think Sally's got to be unified. I'm sorry. I know people don't want to hear that. I know that's probably not a popular school of thought. But if there's something we've learned from the booking of Asuka over the past few months, and it's something we already knew, but this company cannot book two women's divisions at the same time. They just can't. So why not have one women's champion be a floating champion? Theoretically, Bayley and Sasha are supposed to be floating champions. They're not really floating around so much as we had hoped. But theoretically, the idea of floating champion kind of works. So why not have one women's champion? And then one women's tag team champion. It makes sense to me. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it at all. Actually, I would rather, because I think that like you said, the booking of this feud and the stuff with Asuka shows that they can't focus on both at the same time, because they totally. I said they fucking eviscerated the SmackDown Women's division.
They did.
It's just Asuka was they started, like I said, they started that run off so well with the TLC win and went over Becky. And then they just, because Becky and Charlotte had to be focused on the Raw Women's title more, they just never really did anything with SmackDown. They didn't do anything with Asuka. They never really made a dedicated attempt to build up a star in that division.
No,
and again, you had other options.
And I mentioned the whole Mandy Rose thing with Asuka. And hell, even that would have been fine if they had given us a reason to care about Mandy Rose prior to that.
Yes, but that's the thing; they had to give you a reason to care, and they didn't.
Yeah, so. It's frustrating, but
yeah, I'm going for the Becky win. I think sometimes you just have to go with the simple and right thing to do.
So do you think that they'll just have Becky be the champion on Raw and then Charlotte the champion on SmackDown? And hell, maybe that leads to a unification match down the line.
Yeah, you could easily do that. I mean, you never know what's going to happen with that Fox deal and everything. I mean, they may decide when they get the Survivor Series, you know how they do the title versus title matches, they could do the unification matches this year.
That way they can spread, and then you can have like Roman Reigns on Raw and SmackDown. You can have like the top stars on both shows, which both networks are going to want anyway.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But that is the WrestleMania card. I think that we'll agree on two fronts, Steve, that it's a bit bloated, but that there is potential for a lot of good stuff.
There could be a couple good hours scattered across the show somewhere.
Yeah, it's like 2 of the 7 hours. Yeah. But I just
goodness.
And the other thing that worries me, and I've talked about this a lot, is WWE, for a company that does so many things right in terms of business and everything, and they've been in business for so long, they know a lot of things, but sometimes the pacing of their shows is just absolutely horrible.
Who's in charge of that these days anyway?
I don't know. I think I'll blame Billy Kidman. I see his picture.
Okay, Billy Kidman's timing the shows. Okay.
Yeah. We'll blame William Kidman there. But I hope that they lay out the show smartly, space out some of the stuff that has a chance to be really great. You know, because the worst thing is going to be is like sometimes a New Japan show, it's a little different, but like sometimes like the last 3 or 4 matches will be totally great and amazing.
and that's awesome. But the worst thing you would want to do is like if for some reason like the majority of the great matches get crunched in the middle, and then you just have this like dead area of not a lot happening, and then more of that afterwards, So I hope everything gets laid out well, and I hope it doesn't go too long, because that's another thing. It's like when you get towards the end of it, I hate at the end of a show feeling like, God, I wish this was over.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling like that. I want to have fun. I love the wrestling. I want to have a good time watching it and everything. But yeah, so hoping for the best here, and I'm a little fearful of the G1 Supercard too. Just a lot of great stuff potentially, but that show's going to be at least 5 hours, I think.
There's some stuff that looks good, and then some stuff that's just like, yeah. And then there's something like Dalton Castle versus Rush that I would have been more excited about if Dalton Castle wasn't, completely broken down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm not, unless it's Bully Ray getting killed by Minoru Suzuki. Don't care about it.
There's no need for Bully Ray on the card unless it's, Suzuki would be cool. But other than that, no.
Yeah. But then you have like the third Kelly Klein Mayu Iwatani match, and it's like, again, Kelly Klein has had not good matches with her.
I want to say I saw that there were 5. I think they've had 5 matches, or this could be the 5th. I think I read that somewhere.
5th overall, but 3rd this year.
Oh, okay.
Because they had the title change early this year, then they had the 17th anniversary match, and then this one.
Okay, I think they're tied at 2. I think is the story.
Yeah, but I just I'm over it. So, but then again, you have a lot of good stuff because like Naito and Ibushi are rematching.
Yeah,
and that was just amazing in the New Japan Cup, and they had a G1 match a year or two ago that was awesome. So, I'm looking forward to stuff like that. But yeah, I would have looked forward to Dalton Castle and Rush too if Dalton Castle wasn't a shell of himself.
Yeah, that's a bad part there. And you got like Okada and MSG, and that's got to be like 6 stars, right? At least. Do you get more stars for being an MSG, or is it just the Tokyo Dome?
I don't know. It might just be the Tokyo Dome. And you got to have the Japanese buys.
Yeah, maybe. So that looks good. I'm not sure about this triple threat ladder match business. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, what concerns me is like none of those guys are really ladder match guys.
No.
And then you have like in terms of ROH ladder matches, there's a lot to live up to.
They've had some good ones. The Ladder Wars. Yeah, with Generico and Steen and the Briscoes. And later on, you had like the Young Bucks and the Addiction. And who else was in that? Somebody else.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah. They've had some.
Yeah.
They've had some barn burners.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm hoping for. I think there's going to be a lot of great stuff on that show. I just, again, I hope it's timed well, laid out well, and by the end, I'm hoping I'm just having fun and not going, God, I wish it was over.
Now the mention of Steen and Generico makes me wonder real quick, and this is one final WrestleMania question. Kevin Owens, where's he at?
I am gonna guess maybe he's John Cena's opponent.
Okay, they got a history. I can see that.
It would be better than being stuck in the fucking Andre.
Yeah. Maybe Kevin Owens hosts. Maybe he hosts the Kevin Owens show and has John Cena on it.
There you go.
There we go. I don't know.
So we will see what happens. Thank you for joining me again, as always, Steve. I appreciate it.
It was a good time, Larry Csonka.
Yeah. So what are you cooking up this week for your columns?
Oh, I don't know yet. Oh gosh, it's gonna be a busy week over here, Larry. We got the baseball going on. We got, of course, all kinds of wrestling going on. I got my column for the chair shot kind of figured out right now. And of course, we got the Magnificent Seven. We got the botch coming up. What do you think would be a nice list topic for? We're gonna do something WrestleMania for sure. Gotta be WrestleMania themed. Trying to think of something. I mean, there's idea of maybe women's matches or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm kind of spitballing, honestly.
Yeah, you got a lot of options. You can do like top 7 women's moments or matches at Mania. Since the women are main eventing, maybe
people get mad when I put Terry and Kat on the list.
I mean, you could do something like top 7 Triple H Mania matches.
Yeah.
Since he's in a big match, I mean, you get a lot to play with on that card because there's a ton of people on the card. It's
There are a
17
lot.
hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll
But,
figure something out.
Yeah. So that sounds good. But again, thanks, Steve. I want to thank everybody for listening to the 411 on Wrestling. Remember, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Downcast, and other things, as well as YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and share. We would greatly appreciate it. And have a good WrestleMania weekend. Stay safe.